4 years ago, I did a video about Montana that went viral. The reason I think it went viral is because of a short comment at the end of the video that turned political. And I could tell it turned political, even though it wasn't meant to be political, by all the comments that everybody left on the video. Here is the clip I'm talking about. That's the one thing, if you're moving here from out of state, just the reason you're moving here is why people love it here, so don't change it. People like it the way it is, and they don't like to be told what to do, and they're willing to let you do the same thing. Just don't push where you came from onto the people here, and you'll get along just fine. I was looking at our stats, and it says that 68% of the people that watch our videos are not subscribed to our channel. So if you're one of those people, I would really appreciate it if you could subscribe. It would definitely help us out a ton. Thank you, and let's get on with this week's episode. As most of you know, over the past 4 years we've had huge growth here in Northwest Montana, and not everybody has taken the advice that I gave 4 years ago. For example, I do a lot of my videos just stand alongside of a road, and there was this one instance where a lady called me claiming that I was trespassing on her property, even though I was on the road. And the way that happened is a lot of people, or a lot of lots out here, the property lines go out to the middle of the road, but obviously on a road it's an easement, and this was a county road, so clearly it's an easement, and everybody's able to use it. Otherwise she would have been able to put up a toll booth. So she was a bit confused, but again, it was an out-of-stater from our favorite state that moved up here and wanted people off her property, even though we weren't really on her property. And if you look at this headline, so even our current governor, when he moved here years ago, he actually sued the state of Montana long before he was governor to try and keep people off of an easement that led to a river behind his property. So that just goes to show that even people that end up eventually being governor don't really get the rules when they first move here. But it's not only these things that have irritated the longtime locals. Montana is a very interesting state. The people here that have grown up here and been here for generations are very proud of their heritage. In fact, I've lived here for over 20 years now, and I'm still not considered a local. My wife was born here, and she's barely a local because she's first generation. Her parents had moved here from back east before she was born. I also get comments all the time on these videos that I do from locals that tell me, as you can see here, get out of the state, go back home, who are you to comment on Montana, etc., etc. So clearly I have not been ordained as a local yet, even though I've been here almost 25 years. So the biggest issue that has affected the longtime locals is the housing costs. As you know, after COVID and coinciding with the show Yellowstone, everyone on the planet decided to move to Montana. There was just a huge influx of people that bought up all the existing inventory and drove the prices up. As you know, Economics 101 tells you when there's no supply and high demand, the prices go higher. In January of 2020, our prices averaged about $282,000. Currently, they are up to $611,000. This has put homeownership out of reach for the average person. And the repercussions of this greatly affect all of the local businesses. In the town of Whitefish, they've had huge issues just finding people to come work, like the waiters and waitstaff and dishwashers and cooks and all of the above. Because housing is so expensive, it's been really difficult for these businesses to find people to come here to work. And so what that has done is, unbelievably, in the height of the season, a lot of these restaurants are closed a couple days a week. They can only be open 5 days a week because they only have enough people to work one shift. So after the 5 days, they got to close down every week. And like I said, in the middle of the season, it's crazy with so many people here that some of these restaurants are closed. In the town of Bozeman, it's gotten so bad that people are actually camping in town on some of the side streets As you can see here, you see all these campers lined up, and it's people that are working 2 and 3 jobs that can't afford a house or an apartment in Bozeman, so they're just camping out on the streets. It's crazy. And to add insult to injury, our property taxes have also gone way up here in Montana. And how our taxes work here, how our property taxes work, I've gone over this in other videos. They're reassessed every 2 years, and they're based upon the value of your house. So that also coincided with our state government. And our state government here in Montana only meets once every 2 years. It's one of only 4 states that does that. And that can be good and bad. And in this instance, it was very bad, because you would think that because everyone on the planet could see what was coming with these property taxes, since they're reassessed every 2 years and they were going to be reassessed in October of 23, everyone knew they were going to go way up. So what a perfect time for the government to meet. Everyone thought, great, they'll take care of it. Well, guess what? They had a $2 billion surplus they were working with, so they didn't need any more taxes. But instead of fixing the tax issue, they decided, let's ban TikTok. Well, let's see how that worked out. Now, still there. I don't know why they were trying to do something that only the feds could do, but that's what they spent their time on. So of course our taxes went through the roof. But then with that $2 billion surplus, they thought, oh, well, let's give everybody a credit. So they made a rule that you could apply for a tax credit of $675. Well, that's great if your taxes were only $1,000, but because some people's taxes went up over 60%, that $600 was nothing. And again, they still didn't even spend the whole $2 billion on these rebates. So I don't know, it could have been easily fixed, but they chose not to, so here we are. So that was just another big reason why people here in Montana aren't huge fans of government. So herein lies the dilemma. Everybody loves freedom. We live in a free country, so people can move anywhere they want, anytime they want, and if they choose Montana, they're free to do that. Like I've always said, until they tear the mountains down and fill in all the streams and rivers, people are going to want to be here because they're not building any more cool mountain towns anymore. So the demand here is always going to be high, especially now with the increase in remote working. A lot of people are choosing not to live in a big city and they want to live up in the mountains, which, how can you blame them? Would you rather look out your office window at a bunch of buildings and traffic, or would you rather look out at something like this? And the other dilemma that we have is we're a capitalist society, and everybody loves capitalism, but with that, you can't go tell a farmer outside of town or a landowner that, hey, you got to sell us this property for cheap so we can build cheap housing for all the workers that need to work in our towns. If their land values are so high now that they could basically retire on the proceeds, why would they do that? So you can't really blame them. So if any of you watching has a fix for all this, feel free to leave it in the comments, and you could easily run for governor of Montana and fix this right away. And if you decide to move here, maybe someday your great-grandchildren can be considered locals.
Thank you for watching our video. Please call, text, or email for more information. And don't forget to watch our other videos about Montana.